and what is its function. First of all, let us go to the passage and find out where that expression occurs. Okay, we have seen the learner from academically enriched background whose parents, okay, the expression is found in the second paragraph of the comprehension passage. Then it says, the learner, okay, let's have the sentence from the beginning now. The learner okay, I think it takes care of that. The learner whose parents are highly learned. Okay, now the question is, what is the grammatical name given to this expression? You would agree with me that whose parents are highly learned and financially stable is describing somebody, obviously a noun. And as you know, any part of speech that describes a noun is more often than not the adjective. I'm sure you know that. And so, whose parents are highly learned and financially stable must fall under the adjectival or relative. Now, the question is this. Is this an adjective? Of course, obviously it's a clause. I'm sure by now you understand the difference between a clause and a phrase. By the presence of this finite verb, this expression is what? It's a clause and not a phrase. Now the question is, what type of clause? Obviously it's not a noun clause, because this expression is a relative pronoun. Relative pronoun referring to learner. So it cannot be a noun clause. So it's obviously between adjectival and oftentimes there is a temptation to mistake adjectival clause from a relative clause. Now today's class would make that point very clear. Now this is better called an adjectival clause and not a relative clause. Let me give an example of a relative clause. Look at this expression. Fashola, who was the former governor of Lagos State, is here. Now look at this. Who was the former governor of Lagos State refers to who? Fashola. And you know, we can remove who was the former governor of Lagos State and simply read Fashola is here. And so, who was the former governor of Lagos State is just an optional part of this structure, which can be removed from this structure, yet the meaning will be intact. So the sentence can simply read Fashola is here. No one is likely going to ask you which of the Fasholas, because it is obvious the Fashola we are talking about. So this is just an added piece of information to the noun, proper noun, Fashola. But when we say the learner, and hence this is a relative clause. Is that okay? But here we have an adjectival clause, because whose parents are highly learned and financially stable does not only give us information about the learner, it is a very important aspect of the entire structure, and hence it's an adjectival clause. But whether an adjectival clause or a relative clause, the point is clear. It performs the same function. And what is that? It tells us more about the noun. So the function of this relative clause here is that it qualifies the noun Fashola, while the function of this adjectival clause here is that it qualifies the noun learner. Does it make any sense to you? I'm sure we have taken care of that question that says what grammatical name is given to the expression adjectival clause, and it modifies or qualifies the noun the learner. Now, we go over to the nearest in meaning part of the ACE of the comprehension. It's it. Give one word or phrase which can replace each of the following words as used in the passage. 1. Deprived. Let's go to the passage. It has been found by researchers in education that the odds are staked high against the learner from deprived socio-economic background. So the word deprived, we're looking for another word to replace the word deprived. Rejected socio-economic background. The next one is career. So we'll go back to the passage. And who has no educated siblings or peers to learn from faces an uphill task in his educational career. The word pursuit can properly replace career in this instance, so we can read in his educational pursuit. The next word is counterparts. We go to the passage. It says, the learner from an academically weak background whose parents are highly learned and financially stable and who has constant access to the electronic media has a head start over his deprived counterparts. It could be mate, it could be peer, it could be colleague, to replace the term counterpart. So we read his deprived mate, his deprived peer from the village. The next expression is practice. Let's go to the passage and find out where the word occurs. Okay, that's in the third paragraph of the passage. Unfair as the practice may be, so we can use the word method or system. So we read, unfair as the method, unfair as the system may be, it suits. It's a round peg in a round hole. The other part says distinguishing. Okay, we find that word still in the third paragraph of the passage. It reads, in the first place, distinguishing between students from academically enriched. So we can use the word differentiating to replace the word distinguishing. So we read, in the first place, differentiating between students from academically enriched and those, okay, I think we get the point clearly. So the word differentiating can properly replace the word distinguishing. Okay, that brings us to the end of this part of the comprehension passage 1991. Oral English language. The oral English language, otherwise known as spoken English. Is divided into two parts. That is the segmental and the supra-segmental. The segmental part of spoken English language takes care of vowel sounds and the consonant sound, while the supra-segmental aspect of English language takes care of stress, that is word stress, emphatic stress, tone and intonation and all of that. These are taken care of by supra-segmental parts of spoken English, while the segmental part of spoken English is taken care, or rather takes care of vowel sounds and consonant sounds. So today, by the time we're through with this question papers, all this part of spoken English language would come to the front burner. So we shall be taking questions, about 60 questions here. God's willing, we shall be able to attempt all of the questions. And as we do, we shall be making references to the vowel sounds and of course the consonant sounds. Okay. Now, let's first of all read the instruction. In each question is followed by 5 options lettered A to E. Choose the correct option for each question and shade in pencil on your answer sheet. The answer space that bears the same letter as the option you have chosen. Give only one answer to each question and erase completely any answer you wish to change. Do all of work on this question paper. Don't forget that you are supposed to read instructions carefully so that you don't make mistakes. With the help of instruction, you are guided as you go through the examination. Now, the first part of this paper 4 is section 1 with the instruction. Choose from the options lettered A to E the one that has the same vowel sound as the one represented by the underlined letters. In this question, a word is given to you, and a group of letters in that word is underlined, representing a particular sound in the vowel sound. So about 4 or 5 options is given to you. You are therefore to look for the word that has the letters bearing the same sound as the one underlined in the word given in the question. Let's take question number 1 to explain this point. Question number 1 gives us the word courage. And the letters O and U are underlined. And we have the following options: A, announce; B, bluff; C, cut; D, down; E, favor. Now the question is, we are looking for the word among all this that has got the same sound as the letters underlined there. Now the very first question you'll be asking yourself, what sound are we looking for here? That's the first question you ask. The sound we're looking for is one represented this way. And that should be vowel number 10. Maybe I should give you the vowel sounds. I think with that you should be able to go around this. 2, 3, 4. I need to tell you that we have 20 vowel sounds, and so they are represented this way.